weather on NBC 10 Boston, Boston's most accurate forecast.
And Pete, as you have warned many times, that heat can be more extreme in the inner city where they don't have the tree canopy to keep people cool.
Multifamily dwellings, the elderly, it's huge. And it happens at night, too, after the day. As the heat stays in the homes and where we live, it's really difficult without air conditioning to stay cool at night. And most of the fatalities are during the night. Heat is very dangerous inside, not necessarily outside. So stay cool over the next few days. The heat will crank through midweek. Severe threat tomorrow afternoon. Thunderstorms will pop up. You know, they give you relief in the temperature, but they do increase the humidity, too. More storms are ahead into the early part of the weekend, too. 78 right now in Boston, 75 in Worcester. Yeah, it's 78 at Logan Airport, but downtown about 80 degrees. So that's case in point that we're talking about through Back Bay and right down through Dorchester and also, you know, even back into Alston, right around 80 degrees. So dew points are one thing we look at, but also with increased humidity, you get a little bit of fog. We're starting to see that on Cape Cod. It's going to be a little dense, too. Dense fog advisory there. Look at the dew points in the lower 70s and almost mid 70s here at night, 11 o'clock at night. Our dew points have recovered. Earlier today, they were down into the upper 50s and lower 60s. What happened? Well, obviously, we were evaporating some of the water vapor in the air with that sun, and now that's gone. And so the humidity comes back out through the vegetation, and here it is again. It's right on top of us. So we'll stay in the uncomfortable range here for the next few days. This is ongoing, folks. Everybody's saying, hey, when do you see relief in the dew points? Yeah, you really don't. There might be a little dip on Sunday. Otherwise, this is a standing issue through the weekend into early next week, too. This is the heat of summer. This is what you wanted, right? Maybe not so much back in January and through the winter, but here's what it is. This is what we live in here in New England. Now, temperature tomorrow almost in the mid-90s, Boston about 92 or 93. And this is the heat index. If you want to calculate it, you can, but we give you a simple number. So you take the temperature and you take the dew point, you bring those together and you get what is known as the apparent temperature. It's not actually a temperature on a thermometer. It's what it feels like to humans and animals, too. So 107 if we take these two temperatures, dew point is 75 and about 95. We might be close to that tomorrow. That's an extreme case. Look at the dew point and heat index for tomorrow. You can see it climbs up through the 80s. So this is what it'll feel like in the city, close to 98 degrees, even though the air temperature will read differently in those lower 90s. So that's why you need to really take it easy. Yes, shade and water, those are the obvious things, but really air-conditioned environments are key too. 88 on Wednesday, a function of more cloud cover. It cools off slightly. We haven't seen any storms popping up, but we have a good chance of seeing those tomorrow, especially in the Merrimack Valley, northern Mass, southern New Hampshire. These will flare up. And they will contain intense rain, too. The North Shore, we could see these hit. These do not seem like they will stand in the same place for a long time. However, they will be so loaded with water that only a small time, you know, like half hour, 45 minutes in a thunderstorm can get you some flooding. So beware of that. Winds to 35. This is Tropical Depression Beryl. You can see the path it takes through Little Rock and then up into the Great Lakes and then up into upstate New York and towards Ontario and Quebec. So a remnant low. What does that mean? Well, the possibility is still pretty great for a lot of rain. You can see that coming through the Midwest and it arcs up through Cleveland and Buffalo. Some localized amounts up to a foot. And then look at this bullseye through Burlington. Northern New England seems to be favored right now for some heavy rain. But let's not let our guard down. This entire pattern overall is still conducive to producing storms with some flash flooding. So keep that in mind as we go through the next few days and into the early part of the weekend. The heat does ease a little bit each day, but we're still upper 80s to near 90 degrees. We're back after the break.